But with that being said, the final one is Donald Trump. Now, people at first were really confused about this one. We're honestly worried about why the Donald's in the Hall of Fame. Why the Donald's in the Hall of Fame? And honestly, people are stupid. I mean, people were saying, okay, you want Mr. T more than Donald Trump. I understand that because Mr. T was in the first WrestleMania. But obviously, you can't have Hulk Hogan come out of TNA and induct him, can you? You can probably do Piper or do it, or Mr. Wonderful, or even Cowboy Bob Orton, or someone, maybe even Snuka. If you want a Mr. T in there, I mean, eventually he will get in there in the celebrity wing. But Donald Trump overall surpassed a lot that what Mr. T did. As far as ring, sure, they were both in a bunch of WrestleManias, but with Trump Plaza, Trump Plaza hosting WrestleMania 4s and 5, you cannot say that Donald Trump had a big investment, not just in the wrestling world, but in his own casinos, because that brought a lot of people in a lot of places, a lot of celebrities. It was a good business decision, much like the Bruno Sammartino thing. And honestly, it was the first time anyone has held back-to-back WrestleManias at the same arena, let alone the same guy doing it. There's no words to do. And of course, the Battle of the Billionaires with the late, great Umaga and Bobby Lashley. That match was honestly one of the most hyped ever since, I believe, well, you can go even recent, with The Rock's title reign. All the media for the Battle of the Billionaires was amazing. All the celebrities weighing in, much like today with The Rock's title reign. I mean, it's unheard of. Plus, I actually thought back then that Donald Trump was going to get his head shaved, because there was no way either one of them were going to get their head shaved. There's probably be a double disqualification or something like that. But as you saw, Mr. McMahon was shaved bald, and thus why we have the hair he has today. Keep in mind, this was also before the hip replacement, several years later. But Donald Trump had a big investment-wise in the Hall of Fame, and nothing more to add to his great portfolio, not just as the apprentice, not just as the owner of Trump Towers. I think even American Chopper had a gold bike made for him at one point earlier last year, and that thing was beautiful. That was worth every penny, I assure you. But one more accolade of this legendary businessman, whatever you want to call him, and that is the Hall of Fame. And I don't care if you don't think he deserves it or not. In my mind, it's the best decision they've made so far. But with the Hall of Fame looming in a few weeks, who else will be in the Hall of Fame? This is an all-star class so far, but there's a few more I believe that can go in, like a Randy Savage. If you're thinking Madison Square Garden, why not The Rock, unless The Rock is going to induct Mick Foley, which would make sense in my mind. Or even, who else from that era has not been inducted as of late? Because I know Billy Graham was inducted. I don't think the Freebirds have, because they were there from time to time. Andre obviously was. Hogan was. Backlund now in the Hall of Fame. The Sheik was in there. Maybe even an oldie, because they also always do someone that has died. And two people, in my mind, would be perfect for this Hall of Fame. And no, Mr. Perfect is already in the Hall of Fame. I'm not using that as a cliche. But equally as perfect, Ravishing Rick Rude, or, like I said before, Randy Savage. Of course, there's controversy of that with the Poffo family saying, oh, Randy wanted us all in as a family. Compared to Randy Savage, it's like ice cream to horse manure. Sure, Angelo Poffo was amazing, and the genius Lanny Poffo wasn't that bad. But comparing them to Randy Savage, you don't do that. Savage would be in the Hall of Fame on his own. And of course, another one of those with the grudges. of all the time, especially with, I believe, a Stephanie McMahon affair, allegedly. And I'm not even going to go into that because that was as ridiculous as why he's not in the Hall of Fame right now. But think of that era. Think of Madison Square Garden. People who have sold out that great arena. And once again, people will be selling it out one more time. We'll see what happens in the next few weeks. But I think I've lasted enough of your time. I wasted enough of your time right now. Because as sooner or later, as soon as these videos get up, there might be another inductee. You never know. But as the world keeps turning, so do we.